Howard, we've got over 500,000 manufacturing jobs right now that are vacant here in the United States. And the reason they are vacant is because the federal Department of Education, which is unconstitutional, by the way.
That's right.
The federal Department of Education came in and said that you can no longer teach these subjects in your in school, in shop class, such as learning how to be a mechanic or welding. We don't have anybody that's learning how to do those skills in high school anymore. And now you've got all these jobs that are vacant. We could put over 500,000 people back to work if we would just shut down the federal Department of Education and turn the education system back over to the states and to the individuals themselves, because it's not covered in the Constitution, which means we need to follow the 10th Amendment, which means it
states'
goes back
rights.
to the,
yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. You know, it's true, because the entire educational system is a indoctrination system. It is conformed and unified to the point where the individual is to become part of a collective. That's my viewpoint on it. Now, what again? One of the things that I admire about you, Robby, is that you are an individualist. You are something that I consider myself an individualist. I think that most of us are not really being individualists. We're being led by, like sheep, through an education system that gives us, take these choices, which make you feel like you have choices, but it leads you down a path to college debt and unemployment in fields that really you can't make a living in. So they're encouraging all this education to become like a botanist or something, you know. And in college and in high school, they're dumbing you down with leaving out so much information and just giving you the tailored information that they want you to have. So what else do you do? I'm going to go get an office job at $10 an hour, or I'm going to work at McDonald's, you know.
Well, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here, but
right.
A lot of people say that the United States is the best country in the world, and that we lead in this, that, and the other, and we're the best. Well, that's not true. In education, in most categories, we're at the highest. We're 15th in the country, in the entire world.
It's terrible.
We do lead in rapes and murders per capita. Okay,
yes.
Well, that to me, not making us the best nation in this world. The thing that we've got to do to make changes is realize that there is a problem. And I believe there are enough people across this country right now that understand there's a problem. They may not understand exactly what the problem is, but they know that something's wrong. And here I come along as an independent candidate. You know, it's funny to say this, but Roosevelt, 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago, was elected as a third-party candidate. And then before him, Abraham Lincoln in 1860 was elected as a third-party candidate. That's right, the Republican Party was a third party back then, and that's what Abraham Lincoln ran as. In that day, the two major parties were the Whigs and the Democrats. And what you saw was President Lincoln coming in, and of course the main thing that he did in his time as president was to push for the 13th Amendment to see it passed so that slavery could be abolished. Well, I venture to say that here we are working towards 2016, where this third-party candidate that's talking to you right now wants to go to Washington, very much like Abraham Lincoln, to push for legislation and make decisions that will break the chains of enslavement that have enslaved literally every American citizen in some shape, form, or fashion. And that's what we plan on doing. In fact, the reason we're running a 4-year campaign is because we've got to do something completely different. If we keep on doing what we're doing, we will keep on getting what we're getting. Independent candidates and third-party candidates, for the most part, only get in the race about 8 months to 6 months out from the general election. They cannot gain any traction. There's no name recognition, so forth and so on. So therefore, they can't win. We're doing exactly the opposite. We're taking 4 years. We're going to take 2 years before any of the Democrats and Republicans even decide to get into the race, so that we can gain traction, so that we can become a household name across this country. And see, Howard, this program that you have today, putting this message out there, just helps my campaign that much more. Because, see, I say it's my campaign, but it's not.
We're doing this for the people. That's right. I do this for the people. That's right. Absolutely.
That's exactly right. So anytime that I get the opportunity to do an interview, whether it be radio, whether it be television, magazine articles, newspaper, whatever the case may be, I'm taking that opportunity, because we do have to get this message out. You see, unlike Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, who are both millionaires, I'm a middle-class citizen, just like 99.6% of our population are.
You hit that right on the head again, Robby. I hate to interrupt you, because you got the fire, and the desire, but you hit that on the head. America needs like an average person that has the ability, intellect, and knowledge, and experience, and a track record of success, that are not just Madison Avenue carbon copies or elitist bred oligarchs. I mean, that's what we have a system of government that no longer is for the people. It's hurting the people. It's so obvious. Everything they do hurts us.
You're exactly right, Howard. If America is looking for a president that is a career politician that wants to get his pockets lined from special interest groups and lobbyists, then I'm not their guy. But I truly don't believe that's what America wants. I've been in 26 states in the past year, and everybody I've met with, and I'm talking about thousands of people, all say the same thing. It's time for us to go in a different direction. It's time for us to have a proven leader, but not necessarily a career politician, where you're looking at that guy. I do have proven leadership ability, being the CEO of an NCAA Division I football team. In fact, when I was the head football coach / CEO of that team, I was a white guy in an all-black school. So to be able to go there and be able to have the success that we had, taking over a program that was in shambles and turn it around, we're going to bring that same mentality to Washington, because our economy is in shambles right now. And we've got serious people on this campaign that I call my team, that are putting together serious ideas that we can take to Washington and truly make real change. We talk about change every 4 years, but really, let's change that word. What we are doing, and this is actually our campaign slogan, is restoration.
Restore the republic.
It's Robby Wells Restoration. That's exactly. We got to restore this republic. And come 2016, if things go our way, according to the American people, if they will hire me, we'll celebrate our Restoration Day.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what it is. We have this is going to be like sort of a rant, but we have an out of control, ever growing tyrannical government. It is just, everything they do is unconstitutional, and everything is always for the people, to help the people, and then next thing you know, oh, it's a tax savings, oh no, it's a tax increase. There's just so much corruption in Washington that it has to be exposed, and that's what I do here on Truth Talk News. So I sort of like rant on this a lot, Robby, but we need a good candidate, somebody that is, that can't be bought, that realizes that this is really about our children, and not just some rhetoric that they pump out, some speech, that we realize that it's the people, it's our children and our grandchildren that we are enslaving. Now, you talked about enslavement. I talk about it all the time. And these oligarchs literally intend to enslave us, and we are enslaved. We're enslaved to these Hegelian collapses, like the mortgage market. Here, you talked about Bill Clinton. The mortgage market crashed as a result of the American Prosperity Act. And this is how the New World Order operates. The American Prosperity Act. Well, it didn't do that good. It sounded good, but look what happened. We had a mortgage meltdown because we gave people that couldn't afford homes they shouldn't have had, because the government said, we're going to make you have the home. And the banks did it. And then all of these properties go under. There's rampant foreclosures, rampant mortgage fraud between Bank of America just paid a huge fine, also for laundering drug money. And this is the people that print our money. So, this is a big exactly problem.
Right. You know, Howard, here's the bottom line. If America is fed up, if they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, like the people I've talked to across this country,
I am,
then I'm truly going to have a good opportunity, and I truly intend on winning come 2016. And here's what I will appeal to everybody by saying. You know, Howard, one thing you and I have in common, we're both adopted. I can promise the people of this country that if they will give me the opportunity, I'm not going to let them down. So go ahead and take me as your adopted son. Let me have the chance to go to Washington. I can promise you this, it's not going to get any worse. Okay? But it's obvious that the Democrats and Republicans, what you've seen, it hasn't gotten any better. Doesn't matter who's in office. They just keep pointing the finger and casting the blame at the other guy. Okay, and whenever anything goes right, which it hasn't been going right lately, but when it does, they want to pat their own self on the back. That thinking is completely backwards. A true leader, when things go wrong, will take the blame himself and say, you know what, the buck stops with me. This didn't work, and it's my fault because I'm the one that's in charge. And at the same time, when things go great, a true leader will say, you know what, I'm giving all the credit to the people of this country. I'm giving all the credit to the people on my staff. They did a great job right here. That's what a true leader does. And that's what you're looking at with me, and that's what you will get when I go to Washington. I'm going to keep it very simple. There's going to be two questions that I will ask on any decision that I make as President of the United States. First question, is it constitutional? And the second question, is it for the betterment of the people of the United States of America? If the answer is yes to both of those questions, I'm going to proceed. If the answer is no, then Howard, I'm going to throw it out, and we're going to find another way to get it done in a constitutional manner where it can actually help the people of the United States.
Well, you know, you said it again. It is a dire situation because we have Homeland Security buying millions and millions of rounds. We have them buying drones, little drones that look like toys my son played with that are going to fly around and take pictures of us. They can all be armed now. They can. It's an Orwellian nightmare, and everybody's watching American Idol. Nobody's paying attention. They love this slick Madison Avenue, puppet show they get, and I'm terrified for my, not for myself. I mean, I'll do anything to fight for my republic, but for my children. I mean, do we want to live in a world where our government will take our guns away while they stockade? You know, they intend to take our guns away, and while they stockade weapons, and that's okay. I mean, I'm just really afraid for the intentions of our government, preparing for civil unrest instead of curing it. Getting FEMA coffins and all this other stuff they do, and 800 FEMA camps and Rex 84, and it seems as though they have a plan. And again, going back to the Hegelian effects of what I think a lot of the last 10 years have been, it mirrors Nazi Germany. It mirrors, all of these totalitarian regimes over the last 50, 60 years that we've fought against, supposedly. We're now, being swelled and eaten from within by people that claim to love our country and are doing the right things for the people. But can 10 years go by and that not be true? I mean, is it possible that you can have 10 years of... So even if it was random, wouldn't something go right? I mean, think about it.
Well, let me say this to you, Howard. You're right when you say that the opponents have a plan.
Yes.
The only thing is, I've got a plan too, and so do the people on my team, and so do the people of the United States. And it's going to take people like yourself, Howard, with radio shows like this and television interviews and so forth and so on, getting this message out, so that more people can jump on board with us as we go across this country. We've got representation in 45 states right now with this campaign.